All right, good afternoon, YouTube. Today is July 1st of 2023. I got my 2-year-old helping me out here today, but we're going to talk about a couple of these flanges we're making. I put these on the website a little bit ago and sold some of them. They're expensive, and I just kind of wanted to show this off. They're expensive, not because I'm making a profit on this, to be honest with you. I'm charging you about $10 a unit more than what I paid to get them made. This is the exhaust flange for your Yamaha. So this is a one-piece billet. We've gone schedule right in between basically schedule 10 and schedule 40, so whichever one you want to use. 1.25 inches for your turbo manifolds. This has already got the 45-degree fillet machined into it. The cost here in this particular part is that the fact is that this thing is 304 stainless, so anybody who's a machinist or deals with machine parts understands 304, I should say, or a welder. So if you're making a turbo manifold, like, you want 304, this is gonna give you that longevity you want. This is something, the UTV community gets away with using mild steel for something like this, basically because you just don't get the hours on the vehicle. Automotive situation, something that's going on the street, you're driving it every day. If you use mild steel on this flange, right here, especially in this riser, heat cycle this thing's enough times, it would break off right here. Even if you had, proper welding and proper schedule piping to build up the rest of the manifold, it'll break just because that mild steel crystallizes. Same thing with 303 stainless. If you use 303, still 300 series, doesn't weld as good. Let me think about this. The chromium that's in that is quite a bit lower, so 303 is better. Other than you can't weld it. If anybody who's a welder, if you ever try to weld something that's 303, you know that it kind of has a tendency to just basically suck all of your material from your base material, your 303, into your 304, whatever. It just kind of turns into goo, and you don't get like a good weld to it because it's not technically as weldable. But anyway, for a turbo application, exhaust flange, 304, in my opinion, and anybody who does any reading on turbo applications or that kind of stuff, you can read about the materials. 304 is what you want. You can come in here and put your 321 schedule pipe or whatever you want to weld to this, and this is going to hold up. I mean, a lot of that heat is transferred to the aluminum of the cylinder head, which helps it. But once you get out to this riser past the port here, that's where it really is critical. And that's the cost in this part, is the machine time and the tooling wear. You're burning up some cutters cutting this material. There's no way around it. It's hard, and it work hardens, meaning like when you come in here and you're cutting it, as you're cutting this material, if you're generating friction and heat cutting it, that's basically getting harder as you're doing that, and wearing out your cutter. So consumables and material is the reason. You really honestly aren't going to even find anybody who's going to want to machine something like this out of 304. This took some convincing on my machine shop's end, but that's the cost here. Anyway, if you guys need this part, we have them. This makes a nice turbo manifold. This is what, when we do the custom builds we're using these. I had them made because I, periodically need one. So basically what's on our website, it's not there to generate a profit. It's just there for my builders. If you want to make something yourself, or we have some in stock if you want us to build you something custom. That's part number one. Part number two is this billet throttle body flange. Now this thing, I've gone through a lot of variations of this over the last few years. I was making these by hand. welding them to this flange, making each one of these parts individually on a lathe in the shop. So we've come up with a production version of this. Nice thing about this, it's velocity stacks. We're maintaining that taper that is already existing in your factory throttle body. So where they start coming in here, we've maintained that angle, which gives you the basically a velocity stack inlet. This OD of the inlet of the trumpet here, I believe, is 2.5 inches. So you do get a good velocity stack effect out of this. Biggest thing here is, and this one already has O-rings installed, but it has the O-ring groove cut in. It's got the step, so when you're building your intercooler assembly, you end up with this guy, and it's gonna be hard to do with one hand, but let's see if I can pop this on here. So that pops in. The O-rings are placed in just a way that they're right past the factory rib. That's a large diameter O-ring. They're 1/4 inch thick, so you have some isolation in this thing still. And then if you look on the inside of the trumpet, this trumpet follows that exact taper straight into this throttle body stack and right into your throttle. So this gives you the best, absolute best inlet. You don't have any air disruption, from going from a straight tube to a silicone to the throttle body. You don't have any silicone couplers, any hose clamps, to mess with on this thing. The idea of being here is that you build your plenum off of this, and this is going to your intercooler assembly. When we do them, we come off the side with a water to air core, and we basically mount that to the frame, which then captures this throttle body in between this flange, which is rubber isolated with the O-ring, to our factory coupler to the cylinder head. So captures this guy, puts this throttle in equilibrium on both sides, so you don't have to worry about the boost itself, like blowing apart this coupling here. You don't have a coupling here to worry about. You're capturing it. So that was kind of the idea behind this part. But we have these on the website also for anybody who is fabricating their own intercooler. Again, this is not a cheap part, but I think my retail on this thing is about $10 more than what I paid a machine shop to make them for me. It's just on our website to help somebody who is wanting to do some custom fabrication. So this is kind of a blank slate, make whatever you want. Big power cars, we've left enough room in this trumpet. You can put another set of injector bungs here if you want to for a secondary injector. Eventually we might be offering this billet piece with a secondary injector bung already in it. But we're kind of trying to work up to that as we go financially. So just wanted to showcase those. Appreciate all the support and all these awesome people I've been meeting in this Yamaha industry. You guys are awesome. Got some amazing cars out there. Unbelievable what some of you guys are doing with these things. So hopefully we are giving you the ability to obtain some hardware that you might want. This is high-end stuff that is custom made, that we use when we do our in-house builds. But for anybody who's a JTE customer, we kind of just wanted to pass that along, because a lot of you guys are not just bolt-on guys. A lot of you guys are serious builders who are really trying to do something. So nice hardware if you need it. Got some fuel pump hats in the back there for some DW 400s. So anyway, that's going to be our video for today, and appreciate the continued support and all the love that you guys bring us. And give us a call if you need anything. any of our production parts, boost lock, alternator kits, fuel pump assemblies, wiring. What else? We got some tanks on there. We're slowly trying to build up some inventory of some bolt-on stuff for some of these high-end builds you guys are doing. So, got any questions? Feel free to call me, email, whatever you need. I am here, and I'm also here if you just have a question and you don't want to buy anything, but you need help with something. Fire it off. I will do my best to help you. So, talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.